Welcome to another edition of the Litigation Psychology Podcast brought to you by Courtroom Sciences. Your fearless but exhausted leader, Dr. Bill Kanasky, coming at you. Folks, I'm beat. Just concluded a 14-week out-of-town trial where I traveled back and forth about each and every week of the trial, and then all the pre-trial stuff before that on a massive bet the company case. And wow, we got a great outcome. It was physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausting for me, for Dr. Steve Wood, for our legal team, for our clients. What a bloodbath. But all is well that ends well. That's all I can tell you. Can't get into specifics. But wow, I have never, in my 23-year career, I've never worked on a case of this magnitude, this complicated, this emotional. Wow is all I can say. Steve Wood, my colleague, was absolutely exceptional with the jury research in the case, exceptional and masterful with jury selection. And in the end, the lead trial attorney, defense counsel, has categorized this as the biggest victory of his career. Massive outcome. Jeez, crazy. God, I'm getting emotional talking about it. Wow. So finally, I get my life back. Today. It's Saturday morning. I'm doing two things. I'm going to the gym, which is always, and then I'm watching college football all day and all night with my two sons. That is my plan for the day. I'm not working. I'm not billing. I'm not thinking. No. Watching college football. Now, I want to do this podcast today because I do want to talk about something important with witnesses, something that does not get enough attention, I think, but happens all the time. It can really, really hurt the case. Why do so many this could be the top mistake I see by witnesses that, again, doesn't get much credit, doesn't get much attention. But so many witnesses at deposition in particular guess. Why do witnesses guess? They're told not to. I mean, the first thing they're told is, hey, don't guess. Hell, the plaintiff attorney tells the witness, if you don't know the answer, just say, I don't know. If you don't remember the answer, just say, I don't remember. And the witness sits there and goes, okay. Hell, when defense counsel deposes plaintiff witnesses, they tell them the same thing. And plaintiff witnesses are guilty of guessing. It's not a plaintiff defense thing. It's a witness thing. Why does it happen in the face of clear instruction not to do it? And by the way, just take a step back. The whole reason why me and my colleagues are so damn busy across the country training witnesses is because they are incapable of doing the things you tell them to do, counsel. Let me repeat that. They are incapable of doing you tell them, listen carefully. Okay. They can't do it. Think before you speak. Okay. They can't do it. Don't answer questions quickly. Okay. They're incapable. Keep your answers short. Okay. No, they cannot do. Don't volunteer information. Okay. No. They are absolutely incapable. Why? Because neurocognitively, they are wired to do the opposite. Let's call this the intention behavior gap. Their intention is to do all of those things that you tell them to do, but then you have this massive gap between the intention and the behavior, the performance. And that's where the wheels come off. And that's where courtroom sciences comes in to rewire the witness brain to get the witness to adhere to what you want them to do. I still have to explain this on a weekly basis to attorneys, clients. That's where the value is. That's where the value is. We help defense counsel, okay? Because defense counsel has a plan. They have a strategy. They need the witness to do certain things and to not do certain things. And they tell the witness all of this. And the witness sits there and goes, okay. They are incapable much of the time because of their neurocognitive wiring. That's hardwired. So the only way to change this is you got to have somebody with advanced training in psychology to get into that witness's head, rewire everything, so that when they testify, all the things, defense counsel, all the things that you want them to do, they can do. They can adhere to the strategy. They can stick with the plan. They can handle the counter maneuvers and counterattacks. Otherwise, their neurocognitive wiring, the native wiring, is going to take over. They're going to regress back to what they're wired to do, which is what? Answer questions quickly, not listen very well, talk too much, and guess. Let's talk about witness. There's two witness. Okay, there's two. I can't speak today. I think that 14-week trial, and I had plenty of coffee this morning. Maybe I'm just geeked up on caffeine, bouncing off the walls. I can't articulate words this morning. Maybe I'm just excited about a full day of college football. All right, let's start. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. All right. Why do witnesses persistently guess when they shouldn't? There's two reasons. Internal reasons and external reasons. Okay. Those are the two categories of why witnesses. Now let's really dive into this and break this down. Okay. Let's start with internal reasons why witnesses guess. Number one, shame and guilt. Witnesses will be testifying. They will be asked questions. They will not know something or they will not remember something. And they will feel bad about it. They'll feel guilty for not knowing. They'll feel dumb. I've seen this time and time again, week after week. When I'm training a witness and we're doing mock Q&A and they're answering a question I am positive they don't have the answer to, and they still answer it anyway. And I go, stop. Why in the what? Number one, are you guessing? And know what they say? Yeah, I'm guessing. I go, why? I just told you 10 times not to do that. Why are you guessing? And they say, well, I'm gonna look like an idiot if I don't have an answer to this question. I'm gonna look dumb. I'm gonna look dumb, and I don't want to look dumb. I gotta come up with something here. No, you do not. Okay. Now you have to be well prepared. There's certain things you should know, particularly if you're the 30B6 corporate rep and you've been given the list ahead of time. That homework needs to be done. But you can't have all the answers to all these questions. No one has a perfect memory. But witnesses feel shame and guilt for not knowing everything. Happens all the time. And this goes from corporate witnesses all the way down to just regular fact witnesses, employees. From the CEO to the janitor. Same neurocognitive result. guilt and shame. So this is an emotional problem. See, this is where attorneys, defense counsel, this is where you guys get all pissed off. So this witness isn't doing what I'm telling them to do. Okay. They're incapable because the emotional brain kicks in and takes over. And once that happens, they're done. And you're done. And defense counsel gets very frustrated when the witness is not doing what they've been told to do. They're incapable because neurocognitively, the circuitry is not there. It needs to be created. Okay. So we get inside that witness's head. Okay. There's some psychological techniques that we use to rewire the brain so that the witness brain is comfortable with not knowing something or not remembering something. This requires time and work. Okay. And those of you that have worked with me before, you know how this goes. Okay. You know how this goes. All right. That's an internal reason why witnesses guess. And by the way, guesses can be devastating because they're usually wrong. They're usually wrong. And then if multiple witnesses do it, now you have multiple people wrong all over the place. The optics are not good, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of inconsistency between witnesses. It looks terrible. Witnesses are all over the place. It drives up the value of the case. You want consistency with witnesses. You don't want every time one witness guesses, it introduces error and inaccuracy into the equation, into the case. Then you have 5 witnesses doing it. It just multiplies exponentially. Not good. Another internal reason why witnesses guess is because they don't want to hurt the case. They want to win. Another emotional problem. So rather than the shame and the guilt thing, it's kind of on the other end of the spectrum. They're like, hey, it's a big case. I want to win. And they want to look good. And so question comes up and they don't know the answer or they don't remember the answer. They will come up with something to try to score points, which we have talked about how many times on this podcast. You can't win a deposition. Why do witnesses try to win a deposition? Why? Neurocognitive circuitry. In our society, at home, at work, we are wired to win arguments, discussions. How many times at work do you go, I don't know. I don't remember. This is not a very common thing people do in their lives. On the job, your manager asks you something, and you go, I don't know. I don't remember. Not good. Okay. These are answers that are truthful answers that are highly internally uncomfortable and create a lot of cognitive dissonance, otherwise known as mental tension and discomfort. So witnesses get in there and they want to win. And they get questions, they don't know the answer, they don't remember. And that brain's like, ugh, I need points on the board. I need points on the board. And so what do? They throw the ball to the end zone and it gets picked off. More error, more inaccuracy. And here's the worst part. When witnesses guess, they get follow-up questions on the guess. And guess what they do with the follow-up questions? Guess. Again, they guess again. So now you have a question, a Q&A question. They take a guess. Plaintiff counsel, trust me, they know you're guessing. They ask 3 or 4 follow-up questions, and the witness is just pulling stuff out of their ass because now they're in the guessing pattern. It multiplies out of control. Witnesses, quite frankly, are not educated. Here's another issue, defense counsel, and part of the neurocognitive rewiring that has to happen. Witnesses don't understand the consequences of guessing. They don't understand the legal, strategic, and for your clients, economic consequences of guessing. My wife asked me the other day, hey, do you know where the scissors are at? Yeah, I think they're over in the cabinet underneath the microwave. And they weren't there. I took a guess. She's like, they're not there. I'm like, oh, no, you know what? Nope, they're upstairs on my desk. Big deal. BFD. BFD. We do it every day, and there's zero consequence. Neurocognitive circuitry. So the witness only has what they have in their head. So then they come in the deposition, and they're pre-wired to think and feel that guesses, yeah, it happens. Yeah, it happens. No, there's massive consequences for guesses. And plaintiff attorneys love defense witnesses that guess. Okay? It's a big, big problem. But again, in our society, it's actually reinforced because it shows some type of effort, right? My wife says, hey, do you know where the scissors are at? I'm like, no. Well, you used them last. Where did you put the scissors when you were done? I don't know. But you used them. Come on, I need the scissors. Where are they? I don't remember where I put them. How is that going to work in my living room? Not good. What do? Is I try to come up with something to help. And that's the thing. The witness wants to help win the case, but it's going overboard with the guessing. They don't even see it as guessing. They see it as trying. There's your problem. The witness perceives guessing as trying their best. By the way, the oath that the witness takes at the beginning of the dep, raise your right hand. I swear to try my hardest. No, that's not the oath. The oath is to tell the truth. If the truth is, I don't know the answer to that question, or I don't remember what happened. It's the truth. A lot of cognitive dissonance with those two answers. Okay. Now, at the end of this, I'll tell you the 4 things not to say. In fact, I'm writing this down right now because it tips off everybody in the room that's a guess. Okay. So, internal reasons that witnesses guess. Third one. Ready for this? Fear of punishment. They don't want the defense attorney mad at them, and they don't want their boss mad at them. The witness guesses because they don't want to let down defense counsel, and or they don't want to get fired or penalized at work. Hear it all the time. Every week. Be working with a witness. They pull some ridiculous answer out of their ass. And I go, okay, time out. Okay, what are you doing? Why? If I don't come up with an answer for this, like, I'm getting canned. I'm getting fired. When my boss reads this dep, I need to come up. This is a brain problem, folks. This is emotion. Emotional brain taking over, little amygdala hijack. All right. They think this stuff. So if you don't address it up front, that neurocognitive wiring is going to take over. I talk to defense attorneys every single week, and they are out of their mind and frustrated because they spend hours with these witnesses instructing them what to do, and it doesn't happen. Why? They're incapable. Incapable. They need to be trained, neurocognitively trained to rewire, get new circuitry so they can adhere to the plan. We can eliminate these emotional responses. We can eliminate cognitive dissonance with these psychological interventions that we have. By the way, the witness prep coaches out there, they're like former attorneys, or they come from the PR world, or they have a master's degree in history or English. I have no idea how they do this job. I have no idea how they market themselves. I have no idea how they're employed. Because what we're doing with these witnesses is pretty goddamn advanced. This is hard stuff. This is really hard stuff. Speaking of emotion, I'm getting a little tense right now. I don't get it. I don't understand what these what they do. I don't understand. This is all neurocognitive rewiring. This is not easy stuff. Maybe that's my maybe that's my rant for the day. I do have a rant written down. I may hit it at the end. We'll see. But that was my rant. You're gonna go hire somebody without advanced training in psychology to do psychological things for your witness. If your roof was leaking, would you call a plumber or a roofer? You tell me. Explain this to me, please. Because there are people out there that will say, "Oh, I hire a plumber." Really? With their roof leaking? That's interesting. Don't bring this talk. If you bring this topic up with Dr. Wood, he'll lose his mind right there. He'll go right on a rant. All right, moving on. Okay, so those are the internal factors causing witnesses to guess. Now, what about external factors? Well, there's one. The external factor is plaintiff's counsel. Plaintiff's counsel is well trained. Plaintiff's counsel is persistent. Plaintiff's counsel is talented, and they're motivated. So when a witness says, I don't know, see, this is the part. See, if it wasn't all about the money, it's like what should happen, right? What should happen ethically, right? Plaintiff counsel asks a question, the witness doesn't know. The plaintiff's attorney should accept that answer and go to the next question. Not what happens. We all know plaintiff's counsel will go one of two ways. They will get aggressive with the witness, or they will become condescending. So they either want to instill, right, put fear into the equation, or they want to shame the witness. We've all seen this. And then what ends up happening is an I don't know or I don't remember turns into a probably or a maybe, which then turns into a yes. Why? External pressure. So not only, this is where it gets really complicated. Again, this is 100% psychology. 100% psychology. Because it's psychological manipulation from the questioner, pressuring the witness repeatedly, and then the witness psychologically, not legally, psychologically caves. Neurocognitive wiring is responsible for that. If it's weak, they're going to cave. If it's strong, they're not going to cave. That's why. So not only do we have to rewire the witness brain to get them not to guess, but then it has to be wired for repeated pressure, repeated attack to maintain the I don't know, to maintain the I don't remember. And so when the plaintiff attorney says, seriously? You're going to sit here and tell me, you, the safety director of the company, you don't know the answer to this question? Come on. Do you know how many witnesses at that very point cave and start yapping away? Why? They're scared. Amygdala hijack. %100 preventable with the right training. It's hard. This is hard stuff. The brain's going to do what it's wired to do. And again, in any other situation, socially or occupationally, when this stuff happens, your brain is hardwired to defend and talk and to explain. Every time. At home, at work, socially. That's how the brain is wired. And that's what the witness will do at deposition, or even worse, on the witness stand at trial. Preventable with the correct training. What will not work is what you do, is you tell the witness, hey, you're gonna give an answer, and then plaintiff attorney's gonna flip out. And they're gonna repeat questions, and they're gonna get mad at you, or they're gonna be condescending. Just stick with your answer. And what does the witness say to you in your prep session? They go, okay. They're incapable. Wow. Listen, going forward, and I'll be long gone by the time I think every attorney, both defense and plaintiff, mandatory, should have to take psychology classes in law school. Mandatory. I'm telling you. This is all psychology. No legal strategy to what we're talking about. Nothing legal about it. It's 100% psychology. And the problem is for the attorney, which I feel bad for you, is you don't know what you're getting into, right? You're trying to convince your witness to do things and not do things, and they agree, and then you think you're good, right? Well, no, it's not that easy. If it was that easy, I wouldn't be doing this. I told our COO the other day that if Barstool Sports calls me and throws a ton of money at me to go podcast every day on sports, I'm out. I am out. Be out of the litigation psychology. That's the only. Or maybe if the University of North Carolina called and said, hey, do you want to be the athletic director? I may hop on that one. No, I take that back. See, I was wrong. Because what NIL and all this money going to the players now has just ruined everything. That'd be a pain in the ass job. The athletic director of a major university? Today? With all this money and agents and NIL and transfer portal? Good God. What a terrible job. What a terrible job. Now, if the University of North Carolina Law School called me and said, hey, we want you to teach psychology to our students, boom, boom. Boom. I think I could do both jobs. I think I could do this job and that job simultaneously. Yeah, we'll see. All right. So let's conclude this. The fourth thing, look, I'm dropping stuff. Drop my pen. Okay. The four things your witness cannot say during testimony. Because these four things are the start. This is how guesses initiate. Okay. Everybody write these down. Your witness cannot say the following four things to begin any answer. Number one, I think. If a witness starts an answer with, I think, it's a guess 100% of the time. Did you do X? Yeah, I think I did. Wrong. You don't know, or you don't remember. Number two, I believe. Did you do X? I believe I did. Yes. I think, I believe. Terrible. Banned from the witness vocabulary. Number three, I assume. Did you do X? I assume so. Wrong. That's a guess. And then a good attorney is going to ask follow-up questions on all this shit. And they're going to keep guessing. I think, I believe, I assume. And number four, and probably the worst of the four. I say the best for last. Probably. I probably. Did you do X? I probably did. That's just a blatant guess. Witnesses say this shit all the time. And again, why do they say it? Neurocognitive wiring for society. It's fine in society. You're in society with your buddies or your coworker. Did you do this? I probably did. Who gives a shit? There's zero consequence to that. Zero. With the one exception of you're on the way to dinner with your spouse and they go, did you turn the oven off before we left? Or did you unplug the iron? I think I did. Probably. No, we're turning around. We're not going to burn down the house. So there's your one consequence, right? But otherwise, people, the reason this happens, ladies and gentlemen, neurocognitive wiring, people guess every day. Every day. Dozens and dozens of times. And then they come into deposition and you tell them, hey, don't do that. That's, folks, that's not going to work. It's far more complicated than that. And we know how to stop it. And this is one of the many things that we do. All right. I think I'm going to save my other rant for the next podcast. I'm going to save that one for the next podcast. Because I think my rant about non-psychology people doing psychology was enough for today. But hey, it's Saturday. My 14-week brutal trial is over. I got my life back, got my family back. I stayed healthy though. I tell you, by the way, on my other podcast, I protected my sleep. I exercised every day. The travel, boy, that will really, really wear you down. But I took care of my mind and my body, which allowed me to perform optimally, even over 14 weeks. Tough stuff. But hey, a win is a win. A W is a W. And I'm going to take it. Dr. Wood's going to take it. But life goes on. Off to the next case. Thanks, everybody, for participating in another edition of the Litigation Psychology Podcast. Dr. Bill Kanasky. We'll see you next time.